into the main members list.
Right. So normally everybody, I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all when you decide to watch the show. But realistically, when you watch, it's your business, not mine. I don't care anymore. So please do watch, hit the like button. You know those things I should be telling you, asking you to begin with, but I don't. I probably should try slight to get the better at it. I've been not on the right pills. I realize this. Watching Flash Gordon, I have realized I've been given the wrong pills.
That's okay. I didn't
So
pick Barbarella, so just be glad.
oh my goodness. All right. Oh, we're turning this into a drinking game. The whole month of March. Every time. Wait, yeah, the whole month of March. Every time we do this,
No,
he beeps up, we're doing a shot.
I don't have enough alcohol for that.
I'm not saying everybody else's show, although that would be cool. I'm just saying mine. All right. Today we're reviewing the
No,
19.
even for like the next half hour.
We're reviewing the 1980s Flash Gordon, you know, the man who saved the universe, as it says in the title. So Omen Al picked this one. At first, I was thinking, oh, damn it, I had just listened to the soundtrack, but no, I actually had to go watch the movie. Which, by the way, for $14.99, it's the only way to watch it. No one has it.
No. You know what? I got it from Amazon Prime for $8.
Oh, but you still had to pay for it. What I'm saying.
Matey, I paid not a cent.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Well, you know what? You say these things, but sometimes they come out and then they're gone again. Like I noticed that HBO Max had Terminator last month, and it's not in here in February. Like,
Oh, those bastards.
So anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
How am I supposed to watch the only worthwhile romance film on Valentine's Day?
Jesus. All right. Here in probably about 12 minutes, Mark will be joining us, and he'll be part of the shenanigans. But let's get this ball or this asteroid moving. Rocket ship? Yes. Rocket ship.
I think Moon.
Rocket ship Ajax.
Moon. You
know, Moon. We'll get. Nah. All right. All right. So, why this movie?
Well, you were trying to do stuff with when we were young and kids, and I'm like,
right.
Well, to be fair,
I like that I'm so much younger than you guys because I got to pick RoboCop.
Fuck you. Well, I mean, wait, that's the 30 minutes. I'm good.
Well, you know what is look. You know, we've done that. I also did The Last Starfighter, which was right. You know, just like a year before that. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff that's out there, but part of it was. I said, look, everyone knows Star Wars. It's pretty much been done to death. And some of it's like, let's just have some fun. And this is one of those that, like you talked about with the soundtrack.
It was
the soundtrack's just a lot of fun. This is your typical campy pulp, you know, stuff that came in, you know, the comics, and they brought it to life. It doesn't matter whether it's a great film or not. It's just a lot of fun, which to me is why I watch movies.
I agree.
The lead actor, I don't remember his name, but he got into massive fights with the director, and then they had his voice dubbed over by another guy. And I can only assume that those fights were over continuity in the story, because
I don't know what it was, but here's the interesting thing. Yeah. As much as he got into a fight, when you go to Comic-Cons, guess what? He has his Flash Gordon stuff, and somewhere right there is the signature.
He makes money off of it. Of course, he's going to, you know.
Yeah, and I've heard some interesting things. I was listening to the Critical Drinkers interview him, and you know what? When you're young and stupid, you'll do a lot of stuff because, like, this isn't, and you're trying to really form your name anyway, so you don't want to take bad movies and stuff. But really, at the end of the day, you know, these are cult classics. They're fun, and we knew that they're campy. And when you compare them to probably the 1930s and stuff that was coming out in the serials, I think they kind of nailed that. You know,
I agree. I think if you wanted to make a movie that felt like it came out one of those old serials from back in the day, this one hits the mark. I completely agree. I just, as I said before we went on air, I got this one and He-Man always mixed up as a kid because you got the evil Ming that could be Skeletor. You got the Flash Gordon, who is another tall, well-built blonde man.
Yes,
And
but at
you got
least He-Man had internal continuity to itself.
oh yeah, I'm not saying it. I'm not. Yeah, this movie. You know what those arguments were about? Okay, where did he hide my cocaine this time?
Yeah, it's probably that, but
Well, I mean, Dino De Laurentiis, I think he did Barbarella. He did
Yeah.
Conan, didn't he? He did Flash
I think
Gordon.
so.
I think he also did Dune. I mean, so he's in a lot of that science fantasy realm, and who knows? Apparently, he's like, yeah, this looks good enough, and I've heard a lot of these things, but at the end of the day, as a kid, I still think it's fun to watch. I remember watching this on
incredibly fun.
yeah. Well,
but-
you know what? If I'm going to pay $5, I'm not saying paying a lot of money, but if I'm going to pay $5, it's a perfect matinee film to go take your kid. Well, not saying necessarily your kids, because there was a lot more skin than I remember in certain parts. But
I mean, there was no outright nudity, but it was definitely a day on the beach. Just what beach you went to,
There were a couple of half nip slips from Dale in that one outfit.
Like I said, it was a day at the beach.
Yeah. I mean, it was it's like, oh, that's kind of cringy for your young child. But because I think I saw this when I was 7. I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
So this was up there. I know the chat was going to pick Planet of the Apes. This was up there with Planet of the Apes, Logan's Run, several of these that I all saw around the same time frame. Star Wars 1977, Logan's Run produced similar, but I don't have as much fun. I don't have as much nostalgia for some of those, but this one, I still love the soundtrack. I don't care. I still have the soundtrack playing in my car sometimes.
I listened to it the other day. Not even thinking about it.
That's probably the greatest thing that came out of this film was the soundtrack.
I think I own the soundtrack. I think I owned the soundtrack before I ever saw the movie, even for the first time, or even realized what the fuck I was watching.
Well, you bought a Queen album.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm going to mention one other thing though. Is I went back because in 1979 I watched the Flash Gordon the cartoon, and I remember thinking, "Oh, this is pretty cool." And so I went back to rewatch it, and apparently that was kind of a weird collaboration kind of thing. It was, there's some weird things that went on with Flash Gordon for the cartoon and stuff, but I still felt it was very similar. It wasn't until they kidified, but I didn't see that because I was in Germany. I left the year after and I didn't see the end, but it felt like the characters are who they should be. I still love Ming. Max von Sydow is the villain. Just fantastic. And he's a competent villain. He's not incompetent. He's not. That was one thing I always hated about He-Man Master of the Universe cartoon is Ming always felt like he was stupid. Oh, I'm sorry,
Skeletor,
yeah. What does this mean? Whereas, boy, once you get into the other stuff, it's a lot more fun. So
Skeletor was a petty bitch, and that always came back to bite him in the ass.
Yeah.
I like the part where Ming was trying to bribe Flash by turning Earth into a fiefdom for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have your own principality or whatever.
I still love it when he's sitting there and Lyndis is going out there, and he says, release the boar worms, and she's screaming, his daughter's screaming, well, my father's gonna do that, and he's sitting there and like
eating popcorn.
Like, yep, go ahead. It's like, damn, that's a cold man.
Yeah.
I liked most of the scenes. I have to say, if we're going to do favorite scenes really quick, I think most of my favorite scenes are with the guy who played the Hawkman.
Brian Blessed. I love Brian Blessed. He's my favorite actor.
Especially when Flash was playing football with the other side and they just didn't know of it. He's like, dink.
Yeah. Well, he trips him up. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a little zany, but
Brian Blessed did that.
It was him. I mean, they could have had anybody else. If they had anybody else play that character, I don't think it would have went over as well. That scene would have went as well as it did, because he's a traditional British actor. He's been in fucking damn near everything for a couple decades. I think he's still alive. I could be wrong, but
So to be fair, so that when I talked to Sam Jones, and I got that, and he's a big guy. When they say he's 6'3", he is not 6'3", and
Yeah.
'cause I'm almost 6'3", and I guess he was 60 at the time. I mean, very muscular for Sam Jones. And I was like, man, I wish I could see Brian Blessed. He said Brian Blessed only goes. He says he never leaves. I guess I don't know, Scotland or wherever he lives. He doesn't go anywhere anymore. So, oh man, but yeah, I loved Brian Blessed also in Blackadder in the first one.
Yeah.
That's just his whole voice, his mannerisms. He's so boisterous. Yeah, he's my favorite character, hands down. Is
I don't know if he does. I would be surprised if he doesn't. But if I could find like books that he was a narrator of, I think that'd be amazing. And he might does them. I haven't really looked into it because I haven't really thought about it until now. But that and James Bond. James Bond's character was. He kind of reminded me of Robin Hood, but not being Robin Hood. Just the way he felt in that movie.
Oh, you're talking about Timothy Dalton?
Yeah, his character. But no,
I like Timothy Dalton better in this movie than I did as James Bond.
He did not get a fair shaking, James Bond, in my humble opinion. But I don't know. But yeah, anyway, so what's your favorite scene, Justin?
It's kind of hard to tell. Maybe when they're on the Ajax.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I mean,
and Flash are talking about that was pretty dramatic and heroic, and there wasn't a lot of like continuity errors. Like the thing I couldn't stand about the whole movie is Flash just happened to know what everything was. Like he had grown up in that society, like the name of everything and what it did. Yeah, but that was one scene that I wasn't taken out of it.
I mean, I loved the Ajax scene, but that's because you have Voltan right up there, and he's like, Squadron 40, dive, and, who wants to live forever,
Yeah.
I love
that was a little later, I think.
No, that's the rocket scene Ajax as they're attacking it.
Yeah, no. When they're on the Ajax, flying into the lightning shield.
No. I'm referring to when they're attacking.
The cloud.
Yeah. This is right after the clouds, but this is when he has all the Hawkmen sitting there waiting for the Ajax to come through.
To live forever. I was gonna check to see if the album that song was on was after this because it was.
So growing up as a kid, and they did mention this, is that they used the music for that. Whenever they're coming in. And I still love the
No, I was wondering if that line inspired the Queen song "Who Wants to Live Forever."
Whoa,
maybe.
Highlander was 84,
83 or 84.
So I can see it.
Hey, Mark. No, but I mean, I love when I think that's a classic line, but when they come down and. Just the music for that is I used to play the video game Vanguard, and they use the music for that as you're playing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, that's so awesome. So, Mark, we're just talking about the favorite scene. What was your favorite scene?
I have to think about that. I guess probably when they're doing the with the Hawkmen and that are doing the attack, they're all flying in together to do the final attack at the end.
Yeah.
I'm watching that scene, and the flight of the Valkyries comes running through my head. It's appropriate in concept, but I'm like, no, put that in the back burner. All right, Omenau, your turn.
No, I agree with everyone. I think we're all kind of, with you, with the exception for you saying the football scene, which I still enjoyed. I mean, I enjoyed
the baseball scene was just fun. It was
fun, but ridiculous.
The whole movie is ridiculous.
Yeah, but it was like You know,
Okay, if I have to,
the base system in what's that fake music documentary?
I gotcha.
Spinal Tap?
Yeah, Spinal Tap. It's like it goes
Yeah.
up to 11. Yeah, it's just
If you're gonna put my feet to the fire, favorite scene, it's a toss up between the Dalton and him fighting on the thing
The
with the web.
platform?
the platform was nuts, but it wasn't as ridiculous as playing football in the middle of the court. It's a fight scene.
Yeah, no, that's why I got today's quote from. Are you men on the right pills?
Yeah, I still love that. Yeah, I still love that.
Yeah, I
You
was
should
like,
execute their
did I hear
excellent
that
stuff.
right?
It's
With the
a good
pills,
job.
your men are taking the.
It's like, wow, wait, this movie did come in the 80s. That makes somewhat kind of sense.
Yeah, I think that's what they spent all
And
their
then
budget
he's like, kill their trainer.
Maybe you should execute their trainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like that. Well, I liked in how everyone was back there. Yeah, it was just there's a lot of stuff that's just fun, and then stuff I'm like, okay, I don't really like it that much. Like I didn't really like the stuff when they were down in the Arborea, when they were put in the pit. It was okay, but it's
where they're putting where the two were putting their hands into the obscene looking creature.
pretty much at that end when they're also in the swamp, locked up in the cage, trying to stay above.
Yeah.
Well, the worst part for me was the close-ups on the lizard man that looked like
where the eyes were in the mouth.
Yeah, what was with that?
And they weren't even usable eyes.
Yeah.
They just designed them to have eyes in their mouths.
It was, like I said, as I went back and I watched the cartoon, at least the first 17 episodes, and I was like, it still holds up for me for that. And to be fair, if I'm playing an RPG, man, this is just the kind of stuff I want sometimes. I don't want the dystopian, hellacious. I want the heroic, ridiculous, over the top. Let's just do this.
I get it. This movie does. I mean, it kind of holds up. This movie kind of holds up in certain areas, mainly the soundtrack. I think the soundtrack holds up more than the movie.
Well, but you know what? I'm not sure that the movie was any, even though we're watching it, 40 plus years later, is if it's really any worse than it was back then.
It flopped. It was considered a massive flop when it came out.
Yeah, it was.
I could see that.
It just came out at the right time with shortly after this movie came out, VCRs and everything started coming their own, and I think the VCR scene turned into a cult classic is what it was.
Well, and the music was still so good because
and
a lot
music.
of times, and then they put it a lot in syndication because I remember watching this on like Saturdays with all the cartoon, with the
I couldn't turn
commercials
TV on without bumping into this at certain points. So yeah. All right.
I will say this much, and I know that they did this also for Barbarella, but man, the sky scenes are just fantastic when you look in the backgrounds.
Yeah.
There was parts of this movie I thought, hey, I should be on acid and be watching this. By the way, bad, don't do acid.
Yeah.
But
you don't have to do acid. You just have to watch this film and laugh the entire way.
Yeah.
All right.
There we're talking about Flash Gordon from the 70s, 80s.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot him. I'm gonna shoot him a link. He can take it if he wants. If he doesn't, that's fine too.
Who's coming in?
Bear.
Oh, cool.
Bear,
yeah,
if you want.
come in. Yeah.
If he wants. If he wants.
Sure.
If he doesn't, that's on
Absolutely.
him.
Yeah. I do know that former astronaut Roberta Bondar had Ming the Merciless stationary when she was in space.
Did you notice that the robot had Ming's voice also?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just him on a microphone.
Yeah, I know. Well, they did that. Hey, Bear.
I've only one thing to say to you, gentlemen. Do you know what that is?
Shrugs are bad.
Hawkman, dive!
yes.
Gordon's alive.
Yes.
Well, I see somebody auditioned to play Hawkman in the
I
cartoon.
wish, man. I don't. I'm not even fit to lace Brian Blessed's shoes.
But man, I love, but that voice is in there. Him and Max von Sydow are probably my two favorite actors.
Really? Well, then this is the movie for you.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's why I picked it. No, it was so. But Bear, when did you see this when you were a kid?
I've seen this movie about 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see it in the theater. Sadly, I was about 11 or 12 when it came out, and I was living in the country, so no.
Okay.
But I saw it on VHS the minute it showed up. And I remember staring at it going, what the hell is this? This makes no damn sense.
No, to be fair, as an adult, I was still saying, what the hell am I watching? And that was an hour ago.
I was like that. I saw it in the theater as a kid, and I was like, "What the?" And then I think I just let go and just went with it after a few minutes. It was like went for the ride, but yeah.
Well, I quite enjoyed it. That's for sure.
It's fun, but the continuity, man.
I have minor issues with this movie, and some of these issues just make the movie even better. The scientist. How the fuck did the scientist know of Ming? I just like.
Well, it wasn't specifically Ming he knew of, just that there was an invasion coming.
Yeah,
he was also a schizo, right? So,
He just got out of the Eastern Bloc somewhere. He finally made his way to America, and the world's coming to an end.
He was a paranoid delusional. It's not schizophrenic. He was paranoid delusional.
I'd say the biggest problem I have with the movie that I don't get over, that is the part that I have the biggest issue with, is the football sequence.
That's what I said.
It's so cheesy. It's so unabashedly cheesy that it's cute, but man, compared to the rest of the film. Also, Prince Baron. Are you a prince or are you a baron? Make up your fucking mind, please.
well, Baron was Barin.
That was.
God damn it! I know Omen now, but it goes to the joke.
I know. Yeah. I know. I felt the same way when I was a kid. I'm like, what?
Now, political talk.
Oh God!
Trump did name his son after that guy.
Did he?
I have no idea.
I don't think so. But that'd be a lot cooler if he did.
Yeah. Damn it, Justin, don't say shit like that unless you can back it up.
No. You never back anything up.
I'm just thinking, the artist formerly named Prince just, took it over after seeing this. No. No.
Sorry, what?
But but you know what I think makes the movie a lot of fun too is the soundtrack. This is one of the to me this is one of those great soundtracks just all together. I don't have to watch.
Pretty good.
You know what? I'm just gonna listen to the soundtrack just because it's so much fun.
I mean, for movies that came out in the '80s, purely for the '80s. I mean, it was very much the soundtrack era between Footloose, this movie, Dirty Dancing, a handful of other ones out there. I think Labyrinth.
Are you all losing your mind?
What?
This was the practice run before they released the greatest soundtrack of the '80s, which is Highlander.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah,
but Highlander is. You go buy that album and tell me there's not a beautiful. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Flash Gordon was where they learned how to do it. Sorry, go ahead, Mark. My bad.
Yeah, I was disagreeing with you, Barry. Yeah, the whole. This set them up, and I think by the time they got to Highlander, they perfected their scoring or soundtrack for a movie. Yeah, they nailed it with Highlander.
Oh yeah.
When did the original Willy Wonka movie come out?
The original Willy Wonka, 78,
78. I remember reading that one had a hell of a sell when it came to the soundtrack as well, though.
1971.
71. I was 1 year old when it came out. Oh my god.
Part of me goes for this much is I remember some of them have the great soundtrack, Star Wars, Conan. I think that's when it was really starting to come up, when they were getting more and more of the soundtracks
You're
as
using
their
the wrong
own.
term, Omanel. You're using the
Oh,
wrong
what?
term. That's a score.
Yeah. Okay.
When you look
Well,
at Star Wars, Star Trek, Conan, those are scores. Soundtracks are when you have songs, right?
Right.
yeah. I mean,
It's
I
a
always
different
have to
beast.
fight.
It's a very different beast. You got to give it a due, because Footloose is an amazing soundtrack. It's an awful score. You know?
Well, you know what? I will give you for that, but when I know that we talked, months ago about the Lost Boys, and part of me goes is that if it's like you said with the score, but you're right with the songs, but they integrate everything into this one. That was part of the actual movie, instead of some of them where they just said, "Oh, well, we'll just put this kind in the background." I mean, this was forefront. They really tied it into the movie, which is great. So,
Well, because it's meant to be a little bit of a rock opera, right?
yeah.
A little bit.
Oh, it's 100% rock opera.
No, because nobody sings.
Oh,
Yeah.
If it was rock opera, the characters would be singing.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know, that fight scene in the beginning.
It's still
kind
fun.
of a song in motion,
Well, the one thing I did like about the football scene was that you got to see that the characters did not mean, it was like you said with Boltan, and then you saw with the little guys. I can't even remember the ones that were stabbing them with the little swords.
Oh yeah,
the Munchkins. That's what the Oompa Loompas had to do after the chocolate factory got closed down. They had to go back to their home world. Get enslaved by Ming.
All right. So since Bear's here, what was your favorite scene?
What's my what?
Favorite scene. What was your favorite scene of this movie?
It's been a while. It's been a couple years since I've watched it. My favorite scene. Well, that's a good question. That's a really good question. I think when he gets saved by the princess, when she keeps him from getting killed or reprocessed or recycled or whatever it is that's going to happen to him. I'd say that's probably my favorite. I think I don't have a standout scene. I just have standout moments, like everything Brian Blessed does.
Right. No, I get that.
And then that lovely lady, dispatch War Rocket Ajax to bring back his body.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
The fact that they used foreign actors, with the Eastern European accents and things, to me was great.
The princess only states that lizard men will take care of the body, so it never really says what's going to happen to him. But lizard men are probably going to eat it.
Probably.
That was my explosion.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mention one thing because Mark and Bear were all about the same. Did you ever see the cartoon that came out in the late 70s?
I vaguely
Defenders of
remember
the Earth. That's the one I
Yeah.
remember at Flash Gordon.
I remember it. Yeah, I vaguely remember it being on like Saturday morning cartoons. Is that the one? It kind of had
Yeah.
like that Fleischman Superman type look. Is that what I'm thinking
Are
of?
you talking about the Defenders of the Earth or the Flash Gordon one?
It was the Flash Gordon one is the one I was remembering from 1978.
Yeah.
I went back and watched it a few months ago, so I was just curious.
The only one I
Yeah, I
remember was
vaguely
Defenders of the Earth
remember
that
it.
had Flash Gordon, but it also had Mandrake and Lothar and
Phantom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't the one I saw. It was this one was more of like the 22-minute episodes, and they did
Yeah,
serials.
Never
They
saw
did the
it.
serials for the cartoons, which was kind of unusual at the time for doing that.
That's kind of cool. I still say the best version of Flash Gordon I ever saw is called Star Wars.
Yeah.
Well, they redid Flash Gordon in the early 2000s on the Sci-Fi Channel. I think
Oh,
it made
Shot
like,
in
go,
Vancouver,
go.
buddy. They shot in Vancouver.
Yeah.
I think it only lasted 2 seasons.
Maybe. Yeah. It was.
I
it was
watched
a
it.
dog. I watched the first couple episodes and I couldn't.
Was it bad?
Oh,
was bad.
It was,
Imagine
was
if they
worse
made it
than bad.
today. There you go. There's a scenario for you. Predict how bad or what they would do if they made Flash Gordon today.
Flash would still be a major NFL football star, but he would be played by Zatanna.
Probably somebody like The Rock with a bad blonde lady or
No.
something.
The girl that plays the new
Zendaya.
Zendaya. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Oh.
I don't know.
They would do that. You know they would do that.
You say that, and if you could take out all this dumb world going politics that's going on, the graphic ability, what they could do with the graphics today, I think would be really fun to watch.
You know what though? I'm going to say this much. I like the cheesy kind of actual physical prop sets more than I do the CGI. I mean, you could do it if you're going to make it a really serious thing, but for pulp, I actually kind of preferred. It reminds me of Doctor Who. Doctor Who had terrible props, but we still loved to watch it at the time.
I kind of agree with you. I think they could do a lot better with the backgrounds. Like the matte paintings were beautiful in this, some really great ones, but they could still do a better job with background stuff.
But did you notice, like the Ming City? That was they actually
miniature
model.
So was the Hawkman City.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think.
You okay there, Bear?
Yeah, my chair is dying slowly.
Yeah.
Don't take this wrong. Is it a chair problem, or like me, is it a fat guy problem?
No, this chair is 7 years old, and it was my work desk chair, and then it came home with me during the pandemic, and then I quit that job, and it moved in because it said "Love Me," so I kept it.
I have a chair. I have a desk chair over there that's from the 1920s. It used to belong to the government. It has a little verification sticker on the back saying property of the Parliament, belongs to Parliamentary Library.
I bet it's a pretty sturdy goddamn chair too.
It's a very fucking sturdy chair. You know the standard wood ones, the old school, yeah.
Back when they made stuff to last, not to. Yeah. So that brings me back to the point I wanted to make, because I was just feeding the cat when you guys were talking about, after I lifted that bomb of what would Netflix Flash Gordon be like. Flash should be a woman of color, perhaps a lesbian, and maybe even handicapped.
No, I casted her already. It's Zoe. What's her face name?
Zoe Saldana.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be the other one who steals all the roles of these days. What's her name?
Zendaya.
Zendaya, exactly. Yeah, Zendaya. She's in everything now, right?
Well, she would be Dale, or she would be the.
No, she's Flash.
Oh.
No. Zoe Saldana is Flash. Zendaya is Dale, so they can have their lesbian love affair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I was going to say, I don't know when the pendulum's going to swing back, and as none of us are blonde-haired, blue-eyed boys from Indiana here, I'm really looking forward to when American exceptionalism becomes a thing in entertainment again, and we start going back to, square-jawed, heteronormative, good guy, white bread, stand up for what's right, do the thing kind of heroes again, like Flash. I kind of miss those guys.
Mm-hmm. I do too. I think the Russians are doing that, unfortunately.
Yeah, the Russians do that, sadly.
Well, it's not sad. It's just sad that we're not doing it.
I know. That's what we mean. Yeah. Is that the Russians are outdoing us in that area.
I don't know. I'll be quiet.
Again, I
love
Russian.
Russian show.
Men to be quiet. God. Just let men be men, by God. Stop trying to make them into women.
It's not even an argument.
Whoa, what's this toxic masculinity I'm getting here from?
You heard it here first, folks. Omanal, toxic masculinity on film at 11. Flash Gordon, he's gay. So says Omanal. You heard it here.
Well,
my point is this. You don't have to get rid of characters that aren't white. You don't have to get rid of characters who aren't gay. You don't have to get rid of characters who are handicapped. But what you can do is stop getting rid of the white normal guys too. Like, how about we just have a fucking heterosexual white guy in a film, in an action film or a heroic film, who's a hero again, and not a fucking incompetent, not a fucking boob, not someone who has to be led around by the nose. Like everyone's like, oh my God, I love Captain Pike on Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I'm like, really? I don't enjoy watching him be completely emasculated and minimalized every episode by everyone around him.
Hey, well, here's the problem.
There's a point.
is
Go.
if we could talk about stories overall. Is I did like the princess, but I saw her when I was watching the cartoon. She was a huntress, and that was part of her thing for going in there. I'm like, there's a lot of back in those old ones, they had strong female characters, but they did not knock the men down to make the women better. They brought the women up.
So it's almost like you've been reading Chris Claremont comics, or you saw Aliens, or you saw this idea that there were strong women in film without them being a fucking trope called strong woman before 2016 or whatever it is. That's my point. We can go back to having like Atomic Blonde. Have you seen Atomic Blonde?
Yeah.
That's a strong woman. She's not a girl boss. She makes mistakes. She fucks up. She takes a beating. She has to learn from her errors.
Just
But
like the
she's
male characters used to.
Oh, what a crazy idea.
We know what is when you make characters interesting and you make them with flaws, then people are gravitate to watch them. When you make them boring, that's the problem that I have with a lot of it. It's just, when you look at all of it, is just write good stories with good characters. You don't have to tear down characters trying to pretend that this one is better.
I want to address RPG Grandma's last statement. She says toxic feminism. It's not that, well, yes, it's toxic, but if you actually scratch just a little bit, do a little bit of research, you'll know everything you're taught as feminism today is just a fucking lie. It's just like an absolute subversion of what actually happened to propagate a narrative.
Oh, Mal can't take it. His woke cred got called into question. I gotta go. I have to go read a Gloria Steinem novel. Anyway, the point is that Flash is an old school type of hero, right?
Yeah.
And that's what makes him really good. Which makes him enjoyable because he is a bit of a meathead in this film, but he still gets the job done. He's still a hero. He's still able to be competent. He's still able to be effective. There's nothing wrong with being a meathead and still being good at what you do as a hero.
Yeah, and all the other characters aren't making it their life's mission to ridicule him over it. They just accept him as what he is.
Yeah, they might do a side eye or something, but at the end of the day, Dale
but-
gets wet for him, right? Because he is a macho man, and that's what she wants.
Yeah, but like you know what I mean. In a modern
No, I know. They
production,
don't
everyone
diminish
would be, every single person would be making a quip about it every single chance they could.
Oh yeah, no. If I had a time machine, as much as I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I would have to go back in time and break Joss Whedon's hands and rip out his tongue so he could never write another fucking movie and never create the quippy Joss Whedon dialogue that has taken over Hollywood today.
The other part is and we're talking about this, is if you look, is the Intelligent Man is of course Dr. Zarkov, and that's
He's
what
a madman.
he fills that role, and then of course then Flash fills the physical role, and it's like, okay, but the characters can have their niche in there.
And
Right.
Prince Barons portrays the noblesse oblige role, right? He is basically the upstate, arrogant noble who then has to turn and bring people forward and turn into the side of the hero, right? Like he has a role to fill in that. The princess has a role to fill. Everybody has a role to fill, and that's what they do. They fill their role.
Yeah,
Am I hearing this?
yeah. I think it's Omanal. Are you
Is it?
setting your device on something that's
All right, so let me
vibrating?
see. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's
No,
over now.
it's-
It's you now. You suck.
For what? It's it's
Hey,
Let's just now. Don't let him back in.
I'll be back in a minute.
Go get your
Don't let him
lasagna.
back in either. No, it's there again. It's Mark.
It's
coming
me.
from Mark. Yeah.
All right.
It's not you, now. It's coming from Mark.
I was like, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Listen. We had to do science.
All right. So we're staying on topic. I don't know what kind of questions to ask when we go into a situation, which is fine. I like having you guys just conversate and whatnot. This movie was based off what was it? A comic strip, then a serial, then a cartoon, then the movie. Was that the?
Yes. So
Sounds about right.
by my understanding, I think it came in 34 or so for Flash Gordon, and then 36 they had the serials for Flash Gordon, And then the comic strips were, of course, in the newspapers, and they lasted until 1971 or so.
My dad was a big fan of those.
Part of me wants to go back and read them because, and they had a Saturday version. I'm sorry, they had the Sunday version, and they had the normal weekly version. The two kind of didn't work together. But looking at it is, of course, they had the different races in there. They had, of course, you had the Birdmen.
Hawkmen.
Yeah, you have the Hawkmen, but you had a lot of different groups in there. That they had the Lion Men. And that's where I think that if we're going to do something modern, I think that'd be really cool to see them do it from that aspect. But
okay, here's a question for you. And I haven't really asked this question because we haven't really watched movies. I mean, I guess you could do RoboCop as one. Would this world be beneficial to run an RPG game in?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I mean, I part of this is I'd like to. Not that I haven't played it. I'd have to go look at. But if I was going to get something, because Savage Worlds has Flash Gordon, and they have the old comic stuff, for the artwork, I'm like, well, it might be a good is what I'm going to say for that. I don't know how it plays, but if I was going to get one, I get that and get the setting and say, okay, let's see how this plays.
Isn't there a Flash Gordon game for Savage Worlds?
Yes, that's the one I'm referring to.
Yeah.
I haven't played Savage World, so I don't know how it.
I don't like Savage Worlds, I'll be honest. But their production value is amazing. It's like GURPS. I don't like GURPS, but boy, their source books are good.
For me, GURPS, it's the character creation and some of the other stuff that just bugs the hell out of me with GURPS.
But if I was going to do it, I'd do it with D6.
But yeah, I mean, I'd love to see what they have in there. I saw some of the production values for it, and it looked pretty cool. Of course, it's under the older version of the Suede system, or whatever they call it.
Suede, the latest version, Suede.
Yeah, it was Suede, but it was the one right before that. It was
it came up for Suede.
They have the conversion for it.
Oh, okay.
So, it says, well, here's how you convert it from here to here, but I don't know what the differences are, so I assume they're minor.
It has a conversion, yeah, you're right.
Would and if Brain has a campaign, how far away from the original? I don't want to say source, but how original characters would you keep your campaign from? Maybe have a guest appearance of somebody, but other than that, be your own thing.
Flash Gordon's dead.
Okay.
The galaxy's in chaos. Ming is reestablishing his empire of Mongo. Without Flash there to guide the rebellion, it's falling apart. You are now heroes drawn together to try and keep everything alive. But in the back of your mind, there's an echoing thought. Gordon's alive. And now you got a campaign.
Yeah.
There you go.
I always like doing stuff either before or after rather than the main character, or having the players kind of do their own thing of, guess what? Just like for Conan, we'll drop in at the same time, but Conan doesn't exist. And then the players run from there. That's the way I always look at it. Because to me, the story should always focus on the players, not the meta plot.
I disagree. I think the meta plot and the players could go hand in hand.
No, I agree with that. But what I meant is I don't want them to be second fiddle to the meta plot going on in the background. That's what
if their job is to find Flash Gordon? That's the meta plot.
Well, that is true.
Are they second fiddle at that point in time? No. Everyone loves Rogue One. They're not second fiddle to Luke. They're dead.
Well, and they were just before Luke even appeared. So
yeah. All right.
But like I said, to me that about that, or like Bear had said, is Flash Gordon has disappeared, which I think happened in Edgar Rice Burroughs too. Where are they? Were they captured in the Ming's reestablishing himself? So,
what are you eating, Justin?
Lasagna.
Ah.
I told him I might have to make my way up to the Great White North for good lasagna.
You mean Chicago?
This time of year, I'd agree with you, but this year has been really weird winter wise.
Well, no, you just said Great White North, and I'm like, well, you're going to find great lasagna in Chicago if you look. So,
That is true. That is true. No, I was watching a program about Canada, and every 5 minutes, the guy would say the Great White North. I'm like, oh, whatever.
I mean, let's
Take off to the
if it wasn't for
great
people
white
like Bear and Justin, we would still assume that everything was based off of Strange Brew and Second City TV.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with Strange Brew.
I finally got enough snow to rebuild my living room. Okay.
Oh,
That's fair.
though I do have to laugh, as like you said, is they film so many of the TV series up in Canada. It's like, well, why don't you?
So, is it the greater myth of Flash Gordon that appeals to you all, or is it this movie because it's cheesy, wacky fun?
Cheesy
That's a
wacky
really good question for probably a few the people on this panel, because this was, I mean, yeah.
Well, the cheesy, wacky fun makes it a lot of for that aspect. But part of me I am so tired of all the dystopian sci-fi out there. I just miss the pulp stuff and looking at the, the rocket ships and the uplifting heroic aspect where it's more of the aspirational. Yes, we've got the big bad evil, but we're fighting against it. I just miss those stories rather than everything just being so damn depressing all the time. And don't get me wrong, I like some of that sometimes, but it's like every game has that, it's pervaded by it, and where it's kind of the hopeless. You're going through. I'm like, no, I want the characters to be heroic. Damn it,
I need
to go
more
through that. I want them to fight the big. So,
yeah, you need more than one flavor of ice cream, right?
Yeah.
You really do, and sometimes you want Neapolitan.
Ugh, I hate strawberry. No.
Oh, get him back
Get the
off
fuck
the
out.
show.
Kick him out.
Yeah,
Gone.
that's the best of the flavors.
The only better ice cream flavor I've ever had in my life that is a fruit based was raspberry. I had raspberry one time and I was blown away at how good it was.
Oh, you know
But
what?
you
I
shut
had
up.
ice cream, yeah.
Well, I
Shut
made a
your dirty whore mouth is what you do, Omanel.
I made a cinnamon mint ice cream and I made a raspberry ice cream a few years ago.
Cinnamon mint? What is wrong with you?
Oh, it's awesome! It was
No, it's not. Mint
Oh, it
sucks.
was wonderful.
What I want them to come out with, or I should just make it myself, is a mix between black cherry and the butterscotch swirl.
So since we're talking about ice cream, Mark, what's your favorite ice cream?
Well, I didn't say what my favorite was, but Mark, what's your favorite ice cream? I'm curious.
My favorite ice cream, probably if I'm just ice cream by itself, would be probably butter pecan.
Butter pecan.
okay.
Interesting choice. Mine is Tiger Tail.
Oh, what is Tiger Tail?
Orange with
Yeah, I
black
don't know.
licorice stripes in it.
Oh,
I've
that
never
sounds
had that.
amazing.
So
Comes
good.
out every Halloween. My mom likes that one.
It's
I
a good
mean,
ice cream.
That's gotta be how can I put that? That's gotta be a Canadian thing because I've never seen that in the
Actually,
States.
you ever drink Pernod with orange juice?
Mm.
So Pernod is a little liqueur from France that tastes like black licorice. You put it in orange juice and you drink it. Well, that's what a tiger tail tastes like when you're eating it.
Arr.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's new to me too.
Baskin Robin usually does it around Halloween, so you probably could try it there.
The only Baskin Robbins we had just closed like a year ago, so I think I'm screwed.
Well, see, here's the thing for me: as I've gotten older, the milk doesn't deal with. I don't deal with milk as well, so
Oh,
I
you poor,
like
poor Southern European bastards.
so I like the sorbetto a lot better.
Milk and me are just fine, thank you.
Me too, man. I got that Northern European blood.
Well, you know what? It's for me. I'm fine with cheese. I just can't take, and I'm fine with heavy cream. I just can't take the lactose.
The ice cream, then it's something else that they're putting in there. It's not the lactose.
Okay,
It
well,
could be the bean gum. It could be a lot of different things that they put in there.
you
None of
know,
them
but-
make pure ice cream anymore. That's except for one. There's one in Canada called Chapman's, and
Chapman's.
theirs is pure ice cream. Like the minimal amount of fucking additives you can put in ice cream.
The
So good.
Breyer's Natural I liked for the vanilla, which only had 5 ingredients.
Breyers,
Breyer's
Yeah,
Natural.
Breyers.
yeah,
not-
Breyers Natural is pretty good.
Yeah.
When the Chapman plant burned down a few years ago, I was pulling my freaking hair out because I thought
They
maybe
reopened.
they reopened though.
And they hired everyone back.
Yeah.
it's a family-run business, right? So when it burned down, they were like, "We will rebuild. Everyone's jobs are safe," and they did all the paperwork so they could get the unemployment while the place was being rebuilt. It was really cool of them. So they technically like laid their staff off until they were rebuilt and then brought them back all.
But
Good
just
company.
for Bear, and just to say, I know you can't see too much. This is what's left of my homemade raspberry ice cream. So
Why do you store it in a fucking freezer bag?
He lives in Texas. What do you want me to tell
That's
you?
true. The fact that he didn't get, train robbed on his way to the kitchen is an impressive feat. We should really just take it as it comes.
well,
So
I made it in the sous vide, so there's some of that in there. So but no, it turned out pretty well. My son liked it, but I don't think he realizes that it's still in there. So it's otherwise it'd all be gone.
So, all right, going back to Flash Gordon, I'm gonna go. Who was your favorite character? Because there were a few. There were quite a few. Bear.
I don't think I need to tell you.
Yeah, I think me and you are on the same boat there.
I think I've made it clear.
Yeah. Mark.
Either the lead Hawk man. I'm gonna go with Ming the Merciless, Max von Sydow. Just, I think he realized what this movie was gonna be and what it was, whatever, and he just rolled with it and just nailed it. I don't think anybody else could have at the time played Ming the Merciless better than him. And then whoever, I forget the name of the guy from the original Serial in the 30s or 40s, whenever the Serial was out, kicked it out of the park too. But Max von Sydow just nailed it.
He played it serious, like he wasn't looking at the camera, rolling his eyes. This is fake.
Fair.
Which
Right.
A lot of actors you catch them doing.
Yeah,
during
I know.
this time period.
Even the guy who played Skeletor in the Master of the Universe actually took that role serious for as much as the ham bone role it was.
Well, but I think there's the difference when you enjoy it and you just say, you know what, I'm going to play this to the hilt. And villains really allow you to do that. Whereas the other ones kind of have to be kind of serious. But man, if you're going to do the over the top, the villains are the best ones to do that. And it was so much fun watching him. I mean, to me, he's a good villain.
This is why I love Cannon's He-Man and the Masters of the Universe movie, because it is in the exact same vein as the Flash Gordon movie, right down to what's his name playing Skeletor, Anthony LaPaglia, it is.
Yeah, so
Who completely Frank Langella, thank you, Frank Langella. Yeah. I knew it was an Italian, Frank Langella, who just absolutely embraces the goddamn role. Doesn't treat it like a joke.
And Brian Blessed is always over the top anyway, which to me is what makes him so great for whatever he's in there, because he dominates the scene. But Ming the Merciless, and actually, to be honest, I also like Clytus with that character in there. And then
he was good too. Yeah, he was.
I liked him in there. And then the who was the other woman in there, where she was the was it Vala?
Sorry.
The Clytus's counterpart, the female,
the general.
Oh yeah.
General Vala or something. I mean, those. I mean, there's a lot of the ones that were in there, and they knew it was cheesy, and they just played off like, we're going to do this all the way. And
right, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's just the way this movie came out, even with a few other not horrible 80 ones, but whenever, and this might be biased, this might just be, if you hire British actors that are classically trained British actors, and even if they get a shit role, they play it. They play
Hawk the Slayer. Oh, Hawk the Slayer. Everybody who is not a star in that movie is a classic British actor. So stupid little scenes are really good. The crossbow guy talking to the nun, and you're like, wow, this is really good acting. Then the Americans show up on screen, or the stars, and it sucks because they're all bad. You know what I mean? But the background guys are great. And that's what Lucas knew when he did Star Wars. Cast Brits as the Empire. That way your villains will always come across believable as villains. All right, man. I got a passion about that, so thank you for touching it. I really.
The other one is we're talking about Timothy Dalton. Have any of you seen Hot Fuzz?
Of course,
Yes.
It's my favorite of those three movies.
Oh, because I love the fact that when he goes in there, and I've been noticed that as he's gotten older, I've liked him more when he's been in his 60s plus or whatever. That it's just so much fun because he, like you said, he's like, I'm going to play this to the hilt, and they kind of know if they're in a comedy, the more serious they play it, the funnier it actually becomes. The same thing with Brian Blessed. It's like, look, they if you're going to play it to the hilt, and people will love it. They'll gobble it up.
Drive it like you stole it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I immensely agree. Who have I not asked? Because we've been kind of bouncing around. Omen, did I ask you?
Well, I said Ming the Merciless and Boltan, and then Justin, I think, is the only one you've missed.
Right, Justin.
What was the question again?
Who was your favorite character?
I liked Ming.
Ming's a hard one to beat.
I thought the torturer was kind of cool too.
Clytus?
Clytus, yeah, Clytus.
Is that the guy with the robot mask?
Yes.
Yeah, and you only ever see his
he is
eyes.
pretty badass, yeah.
Yeah, he was great. He was good too. Yeah.
And the color of the makeup around his eyes changes periodically, so like, is his skin changing color? Or
I heard something where they said that apparently Clytus was supposed to be a clone of Ming the Merciless, and at the end of the movie where they pick up the ring, that was actually supposed to be a Clytus clone, basically, or the Ming clone.
Oh, that's clever.
So that's what that was their plan if they were going to do future movies, because apparently all of them were going to be required to do a future movie. This one just didn't come out with it, but that was part of the idea was that Clytus was a clone and he had other clones out there, and so every time you kill off the main Ming, one of the clones would come up and replace him,
which would make sense.
Yeah. How's it?
Also, that Flash Gordon cartoon, The New Adventures of Flash Gordon, is on YouTube.
Yes, I watched the first 16 or 17 episodes, and then after that, they started putting in like little cute figures that I was like, all right, I'm done. But before it's actually pretty good. It's actually for the cartoon. If you look at what the 70s was, they actually like when people got shot, they would disappear. They actually let them get shot and things blew up.
I'm gonna check it out.
Okay, you may enjoy it. I did, but some of that's nostalgia for me too.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Compared to other 70s cartoons, it was heads and shoulders above what was normally out there.
79. It's like the end of the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, my pick is Brian, Mr. Hawkman himself. He was my favorite character. There's parts of the movie was like, can we just go back to him? I don't care about this love scene. Yeah, she has a nice ass, but let's put the camera back on him.
So apparently, did you notice when he goes behind her and he gooses her and she jumps up?
Yeah,
that was not. She didn't. Melanie, the actress, didn't know that he was going to do that. So that was her like real reaction when he did that.
Yeah.
This was 1980. I mean, I was 10. I said 12. I was wrong. I was 10 when this thing came out. I mean, yeah, man, like it's a strange ass film. But Prince Voltan, by the way, is the name of Brian Blessed, not Hawkman.
Yeah, Voltan,
leader of the Hawkmen.
Leader.
Yeah.
The guy, the Hawkman in the cage in the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
He was only ever referred to as Hawkman.
That's right.
There you go.
Well, I remember having a conversation with somebody. This when I was younger, and not realizing at the time that DC Comics has their own, Hawkman and Hawk Lady. And I'm like, my favorite character is Hawkman.
Hawk Girl and Hawk Woman, but that's okay.
I'm not. I mean, I like DC, but I only have like a handful of characters I really follow. And no, it's not Superman and Batman. I know.
Your dad's face right here, looking at you.
I know.
There you
There-
go.
there-
you-
there is one of the
Poor
few people that
Connell,
that knows of Captain Carrot and the
Yep.
amazing Zook.
You see this,
that-
Connell? You see this? You get sick. They all start treating you with kid gloves. You get.
Oh,
you get
fuck this
I
guy.
stopped treating you with kid gloves and I start picking on you now. You know,
It's just because I've been drinking. It sucks.
because they don't understand the Irish. That's why.
Yeah. But no, this movie, Prince Valen, you said his name was? It should
Voltan.
Wotan.
Voltan.
He was my favorite character. Like I said, I wish the camera spent more time on him. I think, but granted, I think about that when most of his movies are things I've seen him in. It's like I can do less with the other guys, except for Robin Hood with Kevin.
Robin Hood was terrible.
Well, see, I liked Brian Blessed in Henry V when they were doing,
Yes. Oh
When the-
my God, he's so fucking good in that.
Mm.
when he was
Henry
the.
V. Kenneth Branagh's Henry V. You've
Yep.
never seen Kenneth Branagh's Henry V?
I think so.
It's very good.
Like
Very
Christian,
good.
what's his name? Batman. Fuck, what's his name?
Adam West.
No.
Michael-
The one,
Christian
the
Bale.
dark Christian Bale. Like he's like 12 or 13. He's in it because he was part of the Royal Shakespeare. It's all Royal Shakespeare actors.
So here's the other part. I didn't realize. Apparently, Robbie Coltrane is one of the background characters that I just absolutely. And I love Robbie Coltrane as well.
Oh God,
Like,
yeah.
There's a movie called Slipstream with Mark Hamill and Bill Paxton.
Mhm.
Robbie Coltrane's in that. It's a really good movie. It's actually public domain now too.
Oh wow!
Oh wow. I mean, we could watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, it's public
There's a
domain.
lot of
baby.
things you can watch on
I mean,
YouTube.
I could show it on YouTube and not have YouTube come down my throat.
Exactly.
You know, right along with Steamboat Willie.
Yeah, but it's Disney, and I really wish not to give them too much.
It's not Disney anymore. not Steamboat Willie.
Yeah, but you say to a certain a couple generations of people, you say Steamboat Willie, they're automatically going to think of Disney.
Well, that's because Disney sued everyone and they kept on extending the copyrights. So that
No,
was,
It was Disney's creation. He had the right to do it.
Yeah, but it's
Sure.
public domain now.
What?
They're like two
Steamboat
movies
Willie slaps into the public domain.
Yeah,
And
There's
like,
a horror movie being
the
made.
day it happened, Riff Tracks did a riff on it.
Now it's still.
By the way,
trademarked,
I'm
so
very insulted
don't
that you
use
showed up for
Mickey
Riff
Mouse.
Tracks last night.
Who?
Yeah, next Saturday we're doing it again on my Discord. We're going to watch a Riff Tracks and MST3K. Next week we're watching from Riff Tracks. We're watching Miami Connection, and from MST3K we're going to watch Space Mutiny.
I know that movie.
Ah.
You should do.
Well, last night we did Riff Tracks, Ator the Fighting Eagle, and then MST3K's Cave Dwellers.
Cave Dwellers. I haven't seen that movie.
How much Keef is in this movie? Miles O'Keefe.
Miles, yeah, Jesus. You should see Hell Goes to Frogtown with the Ray Piper.
Okay. First of all, Hell Comes to Frogtown is one of my favorite films. Second of all, Riff Tracks hasn't done it yet. And if it's MST3K, it's only the new crowd that's done it because the old crowd didn't touch it. And the new crowd sucks.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm down to watch Hell Comes to Frogtown anytime you want.
I was actually thinking about introducing that one to our Euro Sci-Fi because it has mutants. Granted, it's an apocalyptic movie, so
We
do
didn't
that for
say
the bomb.
mutants. We said aliens. It wasn't mutants. It was aliens.
yeah, wow, it's a great. It's a great.
Just
Is there robots in it?
Hell Comes to Frogtown? No.
No,
No robots. No intergalactic travel. No aliens. No time travel.
Really? These are your rules? So post-apocalyptic doesn't count?
No,
Yeah.
we tried narrowing it down a little bit. so
No
that was-
mutants? Really?
well, to be fair, we had to keep Shadow someone in check. He wanted to do a month long of Planet of the Apes, so we had to throw some rules into this. Love you, Shadow.
yeah. Well, he wanted to do we're going to do all 5 of them. I'm like, why? You only need to watch one, and if you like the first, then go watch the rest. If you don't like the first, then there's no reason subjecting yourself to all the others.
But no, then you have to watch the cartoon series and the TV series, and
Hey, I like the TV series. Shush.
You
Which
know what?
TV series are we talking about?
Planet of the
Planet of
Apes.
the Apes.
I like that. I was a kid when it was on.
Yeah, I was a kid. I remember watching that along with Logan's Run. You know?
I had the
Yeah.
playset. I had the action figures.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
I only watched it when Space played it on Marathon.
So hey, no, but some of it is like, hey, you know, we don't want to do all of the films. You only pick your best one out of there, and then
Yeah, only one per franchise, please.
What would be the one Planet of the Apes film then? Would it be the first one?
I think the
Would it
first
be
one
Conquest. Oh, I think it would be Beneath the Planet of the Apes, where they worship a nuclear bomb. Yeah, that's the one.
Isn't that the second one?
That's when I get off. That's when I get off the boat. It was the one after that's when I got off the boat. You know, the
Back in time where they show when the
it's like
died.
a nuclear bomb causes time traveling. Yeah, okay, I'm done.
Well, to me, it amazed me is, you know, we all talk about Charlton Heston and how much he was in the futuristic stuff. I was like, holy hell, you know, it was in the 70s. That's about all he did.
Oh, Mega Man is still one of his best.
Oh, Mega Man is amazing.
Soylent Green.
Sadly, we can't watch it.
Yep.
All right, next year we're going to do apocalyptic movies, Waterworld,
Mad Max.
Mad Max.
Postman.
I have never seen
I
Postman, so
love
that
that
would be a
movie.
good one for me.
Read the book. So
I've read
much
the
better.
book. Love the book. Love the movie.
All right.
I still want the cult of feminists worshiping a supercomputer.
Oh well, wait a minute. If we want to watch a bad movie that's just out there, but it does have this, because the ending I think makes it worth it. Was The Boy and His Dog.
Good movie.
Ooh.
At the end, when they implied that they ate her.
Yes.
Zombieland. Is there Zombieland 1 or Zombieland 2? I prefer the first one because Bill Murray's in it.
Yeah, I did enjoy it. I didn't know that they made a Zombieland too.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really not worth watching, but you know, whatever.
Oh, I forgot tonight. Next episode of True Detectives, episode 4 is coming out. Yeah,
Is that any good? I saw the
4
first.
is so good.
No. Hey,
Yeah.
Bear, do you have to watch all the previous seasons, or they
Season 1. Watch season 1 if you
Okay.
want, just because there is some connective tissue. But overall, you can watch this one without knowing it.
I really want to watch season 1.
Season 1's amazing,
It's
but
really
season
worth
4 so far has been really good.
And she was in a sci-fi movie too. She's been in a few sci-fi
You mean
movies.
Contact?
Yeah. Alien, spaceship. We should do that sometime this year.
Don't make me watch Contact. That's all I'm asking.
All right.
There's time travel in Contact.
Yeah.
And technically interstellar travel. She is
It
transported
meets
to
all the
a series.
requirements. Technically,
Right.
it does is
Plus,
space
he's talking
travel.
about Flash Gordon, and we're going everywhere else like normal.
Well, you know what? I think that we kind of like did everything because I think here's the thing. Did we all enjoy watching Flash Gordon?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
I mean,
enjoy
I
it.
wouldn't go out of my way to watch it right away again, but you know.
I can wait
Yeah,
another couple
I
years
wanna
before
watch
watching it again.
You know, but it's one of those that it's like when it's there, it's fun to watch. I don't feel, you know, like I have to. I did sit and watch, you know, like all the backgrounds and stuff, and I was like, yeah, the costumes are kind of cheesy, but man, visually it's bright, it's vibrant. You know, some of the things that it really did feel like it came out of a you know, a comic strip.
I like that the director wasn't one noting the bad guys as Nazis. Fucking sick and tired of that.
Yeah, I can only imagine why. Anyway,
Well, no, even like I've always hated that. It's fucking annoying.
I think just because Shadow's not here and he seems to be getting busier and busier as life continues. Do you mind if we do yours next week, Mark?
Oh, we're gonna do mine next week. Okay.
Yeah.
I picked Tron. If that's easy enough for everybody to get, I don't know. It's probably only on Disney Plus, I would imagine. But
You know what?
if there's something else I can pick,
I've got to send Bear $10.
Why?
You were talking about that thing you were gonna do. I don't know if you want to.
Well, here's the funny thing.
Plex
Well,
thing.
I'm
Well,
sorry,
we
say
talked
again,
about-
please. You have to remind me. I say a lot of stupid shit.
The Plex thing.
Oh yeah, it's already up, dude. Just send me your email and I'll put it on my Discord. if you want access to my Plex, guys, on my Discord, send me a message with your email from that you use to sign up Plex with. You have to sign up a free account on Plex, and I'll hook you up to my Discord. I've got over my Plex. I've got over 6,000 movies and TV shows on there.
Wow.
I don't think I'm actually on your Discord. I think I'm just friends with you via
You're a big nerd.
You know what though? Here's what's interesting is you talk about watching stuff and getting the streaming. I've been buying the DVDs and they've been cheaper than buying them from the streaming. I
don't have a DVD player. I have an Xbox that does not have a DVD player or Blu-ray.
Wow, what kind of Xbox did you get? Mine has a Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
It's a Series S, which is
you got the new one. Mine's the old one.
Yeah, my old one's player stopped working, and I was already having issues with it already. I'm like, fuck this. I'm going to get the new one because me and my brother wants to start doing a YouTube thing, but he doesn't want to do this. He wants to do Fallout and Minecraft, make money off the system. And he's like, "Well, you're going to play with me, right?" I'm like, "No, I'm not going to play with you." He's like, in the game. I'm like, "That's weird too." He's like, "You know what I'm talking about." So I had to get a new system.
So no, I mean, I'm not knocking any of it. But part of it for me is because I have all these PDFs and I want to make sure they're saved to the to disc, because that's why I have a Blu-ray player for my computer.
Well, I'm starting to do physical media again as well because I really I value physical media in a big way.
Yeah, I get that.
And it's getting cheap, man. It's getting cheap, man.
Well, the other part is that for my son is he doesn't have good enough internet. So whenever if I hand him a movie, I just got him the Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And I was like, "Here you go, son." And it makes it a lot easier for him to see it when he wants, along with his mom.
The only thing I would wish is, how the Blu-ray cases are smaller.
Yeah.
Than the DVD. I wish they were a bit smaller, closer to jewel cases for CDs, a little bigger, but and that material. That way you could pack a fuck ton more onto a shelf,
Yeah.
I don't have that many in there.
So I'm going to bring up a very unpopular topic really quick. I just want to say this. I enjoyed the fuck out of it. I really did. Because I had 98% of the toys that they featured in this past season of He-Man. It was the Kevin Smith one, right?
Okay.
I'm not talking about the first part 1, part 2. I'm talking about the most recent one that just came out. It was a solid He-Man cartoon.
Yeah, I have no doubt that he saw the backlash over the big problem most people had with that is the misdirect, right?
I'm going to bring up the other part though.
Is Tila show, and you're calling it He-Man.
Well, they never called it He-Man.
Well, no. Here's the other part: is a lot of that was
though.
Yeah. And if you're, a lot of it was from Mattel to sell toys. And if you're not pushing out He-Man, you're not selling as many toys. So there may have been them coming back and saying, "You better put more He-Man in this time." It
was a solid 5 episodes. I can't wait for the next if they follow this vein. If they follow this vein, there will always be people that hate it for whatever fucking reason. But growing up on He-Man, having all the fucking toys, like I said, I had 90% of the shit that they showed on this at one point or the other. So
yeah, I mean, there's a no. I don't doubt. I don't have Netflix, and
you're probably better off.
Yeah,
Amazon Prime is now putting commercials on their shit, and I'm like, really, guys?
What's up with that? I saw that.
Well, Rings of Power didn't do well enough, and we got to get that money back somehow.
I pirate everything, but my hard drive's full, and my other hard drive's full.
I have a free Prime drive, Amazon Prime, because of my Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Delivery.
Yeah.
So they're gonna add commercials. Okay.
Well,
I don't care.
I had Prime, but I never fucking used it, so I got rid of it, right? I didn't use even. I found it harder to look for things to watch on that than
well, see, I bought it for the
going to
shipping
Pirate
and
Bay
to
or
get
whatever,
stuff in, and they just include the TV with that. Otherwise, I don't really care. I watch a few things on there, but for the most part, to be fair, I'd rather go watch Bear than a lot of the stuff that's coming out nowadays. And if they tell me it's really good, then I'll go to my friend's house and sit there for 4 or 5 hours and watch it.
Mhm.
Do you say you'd rather watch Bears?
No,
I'd rather
you.
watch your channel, man.
Oh, I was going to say, do you wander off into the woods of Texas and look for bears? What are you doing tonight, honey? Watching the Bears show.
Hey, or the
Thank you. I take the compliment, but
steamers.
I'd rather watch really good
I
movies
said
myself.
this earlier. I don't know. I watched the old Lord of Greystone Tarzan.
Yeah,
With Chris
Greystoke.
Lee.
yeah,
Greystoke, yeah.
Man,
I-
dude.
I like their newer one, the one that they had with Samuel L. Jackson and stuff. I enjoyed that.
That's kind of what I did. I started with that one. Then I watched that one with the guy from True Blood and Samuel L. Jackson. I thought this was really good. I don't know why I got shit on as bad as it. Then I was on Amazon Prime, like the new 2023 Zorro. I'm like, it can't be any. This could be shit. Let's watch it. And it was actually really fucking good. It was really good.
I hate saying this though, is because when we're talking about the woke stuff, the better stuff coming out is coming from overseas. Over I've been trying to learn Russian for like 3 years, so sometimes it's enjoyable to watch that. That's not that it's part of this, but if like next year we do post-apocalyptic and fantasy, I still want to do Night Watch because I really enjoyed that movie.
I do know, and I'm not joking around when I say this. I don't know when I'm going to pull that particular trigger, but we will be watching heavy metal.
Okay. I mean, that has, I guess it's
first
interdimensional
one.
aliens. So, that's.
It has aliens, it has robots, it has everything but time. Well, it does have.
No, it has time travel.
Does it? Okay.
Or maybe the thing's just been around.
It's like.
It's just been
But
around.
yeah, for a sci-fi movie, I think heavy metal fits. Plus, it has a really awesome soundtrack. So
You know what? If you're going to do that, if we're going to be doing the space stuff, we're going to do like maybe we can do 1 month of cartoons, for our choice.
yeah, I'm not opposed to much of anything other than Sound of Music. I fucking can't stomach that movie.
Well, I was thinking of a couple of them. I
The
mean, I
Sound of
enjoyed-
Music is off the list.
I mean, Wall-E I thought was fun. I thought that I remember, though, this could, because I only watched it once, was Titan AE wasn't bad.
That once again had a really good soundtrack.
I think Bear really likes the Sound of Music.
I really do.
Yeah.
Do you really?
I've never gotten
Yes,
to the end
really.
of the Sound of Music. I've only watched like the first half an hour.
It just
fall asleep.
okay. Good to know. If we do Sound of Music, we're inviting a Bear, and I'm just going to be mute the entire time.
No, you're gonna watch it. You're gonna enjoy it. And you're gonna participate.
Hey, no offense here, and as I know, Bear, it looks like you've lost some weight. So
Have I? No, okay, it happens.
you know,
I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? It tells me I just trimmed my beard.
okay.
You know.
I gotta do that.
You know.
Oh, you look like you lost the weight. That's funny. I just took a shit half an hour ago.
There's that Irish humor we're looking for.
Nah, I was too sober to be Irish.
I want to know why the Irish weren't given credit for vodka. That's what I want to know.
'Cause
Have
we
you
didn't
met
need
the
it.
Irish?
We figured out grain alcohols. We didn't need to do potato alcohols.
I think I've had 1 or 2 Irish vodkas, and I'm like, really, guys? Why? And I'm like, why?
Vodka has no flavor and no odor. There's no such thing as a bad vodka or a good vodka unless you drink it and go, what the fuck is that flavor I just had? What's that smell? That's bad vodka.
My
Well,
vodka goes into stuff. I don't drink it straight up.
I think
The
that's
severity of the hangover the next day. Maybe.
that's a little too pure. You want the slight plum flavor or the pear flavor in vodka. It should be triggering those senses.
I'm trying to turn this into a drinking channel, although we can. I wouldn't have two bones about it. I've had different flavored vodkas over the years. I was at one of my medieval reenactment, and I woke up at like 7 o'clock in the morning because the sun coming down on my tent, and it gets hot. Anyways, I wake up, I go out there. This guy named Riley is standing there. He's like, "Hey, you want breakfast?" Sure. He
Vodka.
hands me a shot. He's like, you drop this in your orange juice. And I'm like, okay. I drop in my orange juice and I take a shot of it. It tastes like the Mickey D's breakfast combo growing up. And I asked him, what the fuck was in the shot? He's like, vodka bacon and vodka maple flavor and orange juice. I'm like, this is horrible. Can I have another one?
I did have maple bacon donuts one time. So.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And
Maple
this
bacon.
guy's like, why do I come to the show?
Maple bacon is disgusting.
You don't
I
like
wouldn't
maple bacon?
recommend drinking it by
I don't like-
itself.
I don't like-
It was-
I don't like maple.
Oh. Get the fuck out of the country right now.
I'm in Quebec. I'm safe.
I like a little bit with gingerbread pancakes for most of my maple syrup. But no, it was one of those things that they brought them into work and said, "Hey, look, we got these donuts," and for a dozen donuts, they went like this. I was like, "Holy hell, these are not like donuts!" And such wildfire. So.
We got a bunch of places like that in Montreal too. All these wonky, weird flavored, fucking $4 each donuts, and you're just like, "Fuck off."
All I want is a good chocolate yeast donut. That's all I want. I don't want glazed and all the other
I
crap.
can go to the IGA on the right day when the bakers are on and they're working and get my favorite donut ever in the world, which you will appreciate, which is a regular donut with sugar and cinnamon on it.
Okay.
I can get behind that. Yeah, that's
a heavenly fucking donut.
Now, is it a cake donut or yeast donut? Just curious.
I don't know. I think it's yeast. I don't know.
Okay.
When
It's baked, not fried, so it's probably cake. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
when I worked,
No, they're
in-
deep fried. They're deep fried. No, they're deep fried.
okay.
They're good. Yeah.
When I worked in Sault Ste. Marie,
Have you worked at the Sioux?
yeah, I worked at the Bush Plain Heritage Center there for a while.
Wow.
I take the bus to work in the Central Hub. You could get for 50 cents a jelly-filled donut that was fresh made that day by hand.
I mean, to be
It's like-
fair, no, go ahead. I mean,
No, but like, and then you're like the $4 donut, like Bear just mentioned, and I've seen places like that. It's like
Oh, no.
you could get a fresh made
Foodies
daily
have
jelly-filled
fucking
donut for 50 cents.
ruined food. Okay.
Who?
Foodies.
Foodies, yeah.
They've ruined food. They've destroyed fucking food. But worse than that, have you guys noticed post-pandemic, restaurant food tastes like shit now?
yeah.
Have you noticed it's not good anymore?
By the way, I am a foodie, and my career choice is being a chef. I don't think I ruined food.
Yes,
No,
you
dude,
did.
It's not that.
You
It's
ate
the
it all.
supplies that they're giving them. It's the product they're getting to make the food with has
Yeah.
gone downhill hard.
Yeah.
Hard.
So here locally, you talk about a $4 donut. Is the one place I know that has a $4 donut? The donut's like this big.
Yeah, okay. You
normal
also live in a
size
state
donut,
that has a
maybe
place
a
called
little
Bucky
bigger.
Beavers. That's a fucking gas station / shopping mall / apocalyptic supply one-stop shop. I mean, good God.
No. This was Round Rock Donuts. Round Rock Donuts is one of the it's one of the top 10 donut places. It's about an hour. So what I don't understand is I'm like, donuts are donuts, and yet we will see people. There'll be a line at like 2 p.m. of like 6 cars or more just waiting to get their donuts. What I did like though is when you walk in, is they go to the back and they pull out fresh donuts. They don't take the ones out of the case. The case is just purely for display. But I'm like, the donuts are fine, but I'm like, oh my God, they're donuts. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I want 2-3 donuts and I'm done. I don't need more. The cinnamon rolls were good there too.
2-3 dozen donuts, I'm done.
No. 2 or 3 donuts, period.
No,
I don't need
that's
that
funny.
anymore.
I have
I
the hardest
don't-
time finding my favorite frou-frou donut anymore because I can't. Like, no one makes my frou-frou donut anymore. So, if I can get my sugar cinnamon basic ring donut, I'm happy.
Mhm.
But if I can find a good chocolate caramel donut, I'm over the fucking moon. Over the fucking moon. No one makes it anymore. In Montreal, anyway, they're all like fucking here's Boston cream with Oreo. I'm like, I don't want Boston cream with Oreo. I just want a fucking chocolate.
I like the
Caramel
Boston
donut.
cream.
Was it
They used to have like the Boston cream with caramel instead of the coconut fill.
Instead of the cream.
Yeah, that's a coconut cream.
Yeah, Tim's used to do that. It was
Dunkin'
a
Donuts?
chocolate donut with freaking caramel filling, and it was heaven.
Mhm.
Don't have any.
Dunkin' Donuts or Krispy Kremes. One of the two major donut places. Well, we don't have Krispy Kremes anywhere near to me, thank God. But it was one of the two major ones up where I'm at. Had a ghost pepper
No,
No.
donut.
no, just no.
And
Don't let your
my
fucking
reaction was,
generation
"Fuck
find a
no."
food. Ew. Disgusting.
I'm like, it's sweet and spicy all at the same time. Yeah, it's sweet and death for me. So no.
I mean, I'll be honest. As much as we do this, and apparently I poisoned my son's mother by giving it to her, is I got the lime hatch chili cookies, and those are really good. But boy, if you're not expecting that little bite to it, well, people are like, I'm gonna die.
I don't.
I miss Tim's used to have like 8 different kinds of jelly filled donut. Now they just got the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They used to have lemon. Remember they had lemon filled donuts? Oh my god, they were so
like
good. They don't have that anymore.
mixed berry, blueberry, raspberry, strawberry,
All gone.
cherry. You just got the standard Jello or whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Brown McDonald's, which used to have a lot more. Now they just have lemon, strawberry, cherry, and Bavarian cream. You're like, that's it? I thought you guys used to have a lot more. And
Mark, what's your favorite donut?
Probably just a traditional, glazed donut. Probably my favorite.
The Krispy Kreme regular.
Yeah, that's style, but yeah, not necessarily have to be a Krispy Kreme, but just from the supermarket bakery or whatever. But yeah, that's probably my favorite.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, supermarket bakeries these days are better than any of the chain brands.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know what people are talking about?
The
Krispy
Costco
Kreme?
bakery stuff is better. The pizza's better. The French fries and the fucking chicken fingers are better. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Come on.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you are right.
You know what?
It's cheaper.
though,
It's usually half the price.
Yeah.
Sorry, Owen. I'm sorry.
No, you're absolutely right. But I've been doing this whenever I go with my son. Is we don't try to hit any chain restaurants. We always try going to. One is I prefer helping local businesses, but we go to whatever the small bakeries
Mom and
are.
pop.
Just
Yeah.
The other thing is because you're not a chain. Like the worst ones is I don't understand why anyone was talking about how great Krispy Kreme were. My father remembers Krispy Kreme from way back in the day, but nowadays I'm like. They're full of air. It's just
it's nostalgia.
It's funny with Krispy Kremes is it's not funny. Well, in my area, it was kind of funny. Everybody was excited. We're finally getting Krispy Kremes. We had Dunkin' Donuts, we had Mr. Donuts, we had Lester Donuts, we had Kroger's Donuts, we had Walmart Donuts, and the list goes on. But we didn't have Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme finally opens up in Peoria, Illinois. Everybody was excited. It was open for a year and a half before it closed.
Yep.
Yeah,
Same thing happened here in Montreal. The first 2 Krispy Kremes went out of business within a couple of years. Now they're back again, but they went out of business fast because the nostalgia wore off and the price wasn't worth it.
Well, the other part is that they're not hot. My father remembers when the donuts were hot. Like they would, when you bought
they
them,
had the sign. It was right. The red sign, hot donuts, and that's probably when they were the most busiest.
That was the thing. We had a Coffee Time, which is like a really shit coffee place here. And there used to be one right up the street from me that had the fucking donut machine in the back room. You would see it going on all the time. They distribute to the local area. So those donuts were always.
I used to go when I was in Vancouver. There was a place called what was it? Something Donuts. It wasn't Robin's Donuts, but it was something like that. It was like some local franchise of the area. They were vastly superior to everything else you would get.
Yeah,
they had banana cream, dude. They had a fucking banana cream donut. You talk about heaven for me, man.
And it's those kinds of things I want to. This.
I want donuts, you cocksuckers. Jesus.
Well,
yeah.
So do I. I meant, but the old, pre-COVID, boy, when they shut down all these places and people couldn't go out, those businesses went under. And that's what pisses me off about a lot of this. Is because the small mom and pop stuff, they had to rely on either something unique or they had to make sure they were fresh, with really good ingredients. Otherwise, they were going to fail normally. And then they just, so yeah.
No, what happened to Coffee Time is what's happening to Tim Hortons now. You were saying, Bear, they sold to
international food brands.
Yeah, and all the staff got replaced with whoever was fresh off the boat that week. and they started cutting the quality manufacturer, the skilled thing. So that fresh baked machine got taken out of that place, and they started bringing them in. They started third partying all the donuts, and they did that back in the late 90s.
So Tim Hortons in Canada isn't the Tim Hortons you guys think it is, because Tim's used to be amazing.
Okay.
And then they got bought by International Food Brands, which is a Brazilian company. They also own Burger King. And they basically started changing the recipes and changing the ingredients to save money. And the portions got smaller, the flavor got worse, everything just got garbagey. And now Tim Hortons is a fucking joke. Literally, I went to Tim's for coffee with my buddy on Friday, and he brought some salted caramel cookies from home that he got at Walmart, and we had that with our Tim's coffee instead of buying anything from them because their stuff's garbage. That's how bad it is.
And more expensive.
And way more expensive. Dude, for $4 at Walmart, you can get this fucking pack of 12 salted caramel chocolate chip cookies. They're about this big each, and they're fucking delicious for $4. One shitty, dry, flat Tim Hortons fucking chocolate chip cookie is $1.50. One.
I don't understand this. To me, it's like, well, like you said, I've never been to Tim Hortons. I've only heard about it from Canada. The one time I did go to Canada, we didn't eat at Tim Hortons, but
you don't eat there. It's a coffee.
Well, we were at a place in Banff, which was serving like an all you can eat buffet for food, and that was like
awesome.
Yeah, it was really good, but it was the off season, so it was part of training. So they included breakfast with our training, and I was like, holy hell, I couldn't afford to stay here, and the training's less than normal. Yeah, it was that was my only experience in Canada. So, but all of it is just, it's like, I just want stuff that's freshly made, that they actually can tell that the person loves their food, and it's just the mom and pop. That's why sometimes whenever I hear, let's go over here, and it's just not as good as it used to be, or they don't want to make
here's an
this.
example. The last the last Palladium game I had last Saturday, not yesterday, but the week before, my buddy picked up A&W for us. Now, there's nothing I loved more pre-pandemic than a fucking Papa Burger with cheese and bacon. Okay,
I haven't had one for a while.
But he brought in, we were eating, and he had his, and we're like, what the fuck? And we've noticed this every time we go somewhere, ever since the pandemic, the food's not good anymore. Even the brand names, the chains, the food's gone downhill.
Yeah, I had Harvey's. Last night. It was still
Harvey's is a different. That's not even beef. That's a fucking dog food burger, but it's great. But I don't know. It's not beef. I don't know what the fuck goes in there.
It's fresh though.
It's fresh. We should call it dog burger because we didn't know what the fuck was in it, guys. You'll never know. It's a Canadian chain called Harvey's.
Okay.
They're amazing. They're fucking amazing.
So I'm gonna bring up something like you're talking about.
But hang on. You cannot eat it like a civilized human being because of the amount of toppings and shit that'll go on it, and it'll fall apart because you'll put everything you want on it. It's great first date food because you're both going to look like pigs.
You're talking about all the food. I need to talk to the guy I'm buying a half a share of a cow. And I need to buy
cool.
And I know where he's and he's having his just grass fed, but it's like cool, but. That's what gets me about it is even some of the beef I'm getting is like all over the place for quality.
Now, American beef, first of all, I went to the States for a week in 2002 to work on a video game where I was directing the voices for it. And I ate at lots of different places while I was in Santa Monica. Like we went all over and ate. And I noticed something. I wound up after like 4 days. The last few days, I just got chicken because all your beef down there has a weird taste to it that Canadians can notice that you guys don't. And it's because of the fucking antibiotics and growth hormones you're putting in your meat. And we can taste it. We can taste it. It was just like, this beef is weird. Like it's got a weird flavor. Everybody, this is great American beef. And I'm like, this is weird. And then you come back to Canada where it's like, that shit's banned in our beef. You know what I mean? So as a result, we have beef that tastes like beef again,
I'm incredibly playful when I make this comment. If you ever get back into the voice acting aspect, I will tell you that laugh you like of mine so much for an extra life.
I can't do that laugh. Are you fucking kidding?
I will set it up. We'll set up where you can record it and I will sell it to you for X amount of money because I'm a broke son of a bitch right now. And
Yeah, well,
But you'll
Welcome
never
to
be
my
allowed
world.
to use it again. So
So I'm going to mention something in the 1970s. I remember going to McDonald's, and the beef was fresh and juicy. And then it was sometime in the 1980s it started becoming like hockey pucks, and I was like, what the hell did they do? And
but you know what? Of all the fast food places I've had since the pandemic, McDonald's is the only one that still tastes the same.
yeah, because it has to. It's been It's not been copyrighted, but
Trademark.
it's been
trademark.
photocopied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They in that you can thank Ray Kroc
Ray
for
Kroc,
that.
yeah. Come on down to Burger Printer, where we print your burger live in 3D.
If I go out, I was actually having this conversation a little bit ago with Doctor of all people. He's like, "Where do you think is the best burger place in town?" I'm like, "For my money, Five Guys. Five Guy Burgers has a good burger because they use real hamburger meat. A lot of these other places,
Overrated.
I don't disagree with you, but compared to a lot of stuff that we have around here, the best burger in town because it's not.
I will say they're the only burger company that openly supports eugenics. They want everybody allergic to peanuts to die.
Here's a weird thing. I'm sorry to be the old man. When I was a kid, I never heard about peanut allergies in my life. It wasn't when I was in my 20s I started hearing about it. Like, did it exist beforehand?
Yeah, they all died.
So okay, I don't want to get too far on this, but apparently allergies towards all sorts of stuff have gone way up, and I don't know if it's one of those things that if you want to listen to JFK Jr., he's saying it may relate to, but I also think it's just the way they're producing a lot of the food.
I can't listen to JFK Jr. because he sounds like he's dying of throat cancer.
I agree with you. I read his book though, and that was interesting.
God, every time he talks, and I'm like, what? This guy can't be president.
And when you can make out something he says,
it's usually woo-woo.
It would get you kicked off of Art Bell's show back in the day for being
but I mean, something's off about our whole food system. Everything that's just
my grandpa Marshall was allergic to peanuts, so it was a thing. So.
Yeah, but not like it is today. Like
was he deathly allergic? Was he deathly allergic, or did he just break out in a hives? There's two.
No, he was deathly allergic. I'm the only person I know of that's allergic to.
Here's why. You want to know why? I'll tell you why it happened. I looked into it a few years ago and got the answer, and the answer is this. When do we finish developing our immune system as children? 4 or 5 years old or something like that. Our immune system is pretty decent at that point in time. What do you use peanuts for? What is one of the primary things you'll use peanut planting for? To clean up a land site. So when you take a gas station down, right? You can't use the land for anything until it's detoxified. One of the ways they found to speed that process up is to plant peanuts, because peanuts suck all the toxins out of the ground and then convert them into edible food. But we were giving peanut butter to kids at infant 2, 3, 4, feeding tons of peanut product to these children. So in a percentage of the population, it's a very good chance they triggered this peanut allergy as a result of the genetics. It's totally possible. Well, the thing is that it's fucked up.
You know what I did is for my son is because I didn't want any extra sugar in my stuff is I got the organic peanut butter for him. And what he would do, I'm not saying it's any healthier. What he would do is that he would grab honey that we bought and he'd pour honey all over it. But I was like, that's fine.
Peanut butter and honey is delicious.
Yeah. And he put crackers. He put the peanut butter on top and then he poured the honey on that. And that's what he would do for snacks.
Rather a kid go through a jar of honey than
But it's got to be real honey, man. Because
the start buying it. Yeah, I know. I homebrew. That's kind of a thing I realized fairly quickly.
Why don't get like when they started the GMO foods?
I'll be right. I'm afraid you guys gonna be on. I'll be right back. I gotta go grab something outside.
Yeah. The farmers were planting their entire fields at the same time, which was causing population crashes in bees. That's when the whole bee scare thing was. They fixed that problem, but after they fixed that problem, or around that problem was going on, a lot of countries started putting out legislation prohibiting like private beehive ownership. It's like you're worried about the honeybee population crashing. At the same time, you're prohibiting people from owning beehives.
Okay, so I'm going to say this much. I don't know where that was. I know for me is that if I put in 12 hives, I get the ag tax rate for 12.
I was about ready to say, there's states out there that give you a tax write-off for having bees.
Yeah, that's what I have. If you're allowed, if you want to start doing it, you have to have at least 6 hives, up to 12 hives for 5 to 20 acres for where I am. Now, it depends on where you are, but here's the thing: what I have noticed is a lot of times with the banning goes on subdivisions where they don't want people to have hives in their backyard, which is a difference. It's not.
Well, yeah, because there are people that are legitimately allergic to bees, and you don't want to kill somebody's kid.
Well, it's not just that. Is if you look at the size of yards now, they're less than like a quarter acre. I mean, you almost like you don't want that. But I don't know about but for me is my son.
Did you order some donuts there, Bear?
Happy cats again.
Oh, okay, cool.
I thought you ordered some donuts.
No, I do have coffee coming. I did an Amazon order because I ran out of sweetener for my coffee, right? So I don't use sugar, obviously, diabetic. And so I had to order some. So I also got cat treats. And they also have this box of flavored coffees, but it's like a grab box. Like you don't know what's going to be in it. And some of it's good, some of it's garbage. I give the stuff I don't like to my friends, like hazelnut and stuff like that. But for some reason, 2 separate shipments. Look who noticed there's treats.
Different warehouses.
So Bear, what sweetener do you like? Is it stevia, monk fruit? What do you use as your sweetener?
I use normally I use Sugar Twin, but it's gotten really expensive lately for some reason. So now I use cyclamate.
Okay.
The pink one, the pink packaging. Like I don't know if it's the same in the States, but like based on the color of the packaging in Canada, you'll know which one you're getting. So I use the pink one, which is good. And they wrongly accused cyclamate of causing cancer for a long time, and then they finally found out, oh no, it doesn't.
Well, sometimes I think they do that just so it's to push to promote a new thing. Hey, my patent ran out. I'm going to suddenly do a health scare and whatever it is.
Yeah.
What was the same thing that happened with red
dye?
Ongar.
Yeah. What was that red dye number 5 or whatever? The one that was.
Red number 5. If your children had ADD, any autism at all, or anything of that nature, it'd make them become really aggressive.
Well, no. What it was that there was. Is the red M&Ms were made with the crushed insects.
All red dye is crushed insects for food.
Well, there was the artificial one. There was the natural.
Yeah, which caused tons of problems. Yeah.
But they said at the time in the 70s it was such a scare they took it off. But I was like, oh okay. Just don't ever read the FDA allowed contaminants while you're eating. You're like, oh, okay, But
yeah, they're much lower.
My buddy worked at the Cadbury factory in one of the Cadbury factories in Canada, and he explained to me their health permissibles.
Yeah,
on how much insect parts were allowed in chocolate bars, and I was like, what?
Well, see, I was in Iraq and we saw stuff, and I found that I sent the email to everyone and I said, do not read this. So of course everyone opened up the link. It's funny, and then they were yelling at me. Why did you send me this? I said don't read it. They're like, well, how can we not read it? And one of the guys, he's sitting there and he's going through. He's like, oh man, they allow this, they allow that. And then my favorite phrase was, not chocolate.
No, not chocolate.
But I remember.
They got cats. Let me trigger your cats. There you go. I've triggered your cats.
I remember going out with my son picking blackberries, and I grabbed them and I would look over to make sure there were no bugs on it. And then, I'd feed them a bunch, and then we got, a tub of them, and I put them in the refrigerator. Half an hour later, there's this layer of bugs all in there, and you're like, okay, you just won't see them, and people forget about that. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you. I'll never eat blackberries again.
Oh, come on! As a kid, you're just like, I don't care. I'll eat them right off the bush. You're like, well,
no, I wasn't raised a savage, sir.
Oh, you weren't? Oh, come on. Even as a kid, we always did that. We go out and we grab blackberries and
We used
dewberries.
to pick raspberries from my grandmother's raspberry patch, and then we'd have to look inside for ants and pick them out before we could eat them because they'd crawl inside.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah, when when you pull a raspberry off the thing, there's the divot inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, sometimes ants get in there and they start eating it from the inside out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that with our ants here so much, but I'm not saying it doesn't
Yeah,
happen.
your ants are armed and dangerous. Our ants are just ants.
That's- yeah. I'm not a big fan of our fire ants. They get me several times. The scorpions, though, I think are a little worse. But
Yes.
We have scorpions in Canada, in the Okanagan Valley.
oh, really?
Oh, good knocking.
Well, I mean, my son, he was doing one time. He was picking up. He's like, "Hey, Dad, look at all the scorpions inside of this." And there's like a scorpion almost right by his finger. And then later in the day, he got stunned by one. He's like, "Ah!"
Yeah. I worked at the Chamber of Commerce in Trail, so the Kootenai Battery. Yeah. For a while.
Yeah, people don't realize the Okanagan Valley is a desert
Yeah.
because it's in Canada. It can't possibly be a desert. You ever been to the Alberta Badlands, people? We have lots of cool shit here. It's a big country.
Yeah.
I mean, when you say desert, you mean sand, no live desert, right?
No, I mean minimal precipitation, very hot most of the year.
Wow.
NASA comes up here to use it to model Mars desert.
Yeah.
Good to know. I mean, forgive my ignorance. I just went within your hand. I think
But the Okanagan Valley has a huge fruit and vegetable facility production. They just pump in water, obviously, but they grow tons of stuff there.
I read somewhere one of the biggest cash crops out of Canada was
Weed.
cranberry.
Was what?
What?
Cranberries.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We have so many cranberries in storage right now that if the whole species decide to say we quit and died out, we'd still have cranberries for the next 50, 60 years.
Oh, speaking of which, I'm not sure if you ever heard about this, but talk about a racket. They had the raisin reserve here in the United States, where the U.S. government would store a certain number of raisins that you had to put out, and it's like, this is so
Yeah.
stupid. It's-
Buying excess production of grapes and then drying them.
well,
Uh,
they would. It was like a tax. You had to give 10% or whatever it was to the raisin reserve, and I was like, this is, yeah.
Well, you
I
can't- you
prefer
can't,
food
you-
stockpiles over.
Cranberries are toxic, right?
Yeah.
Cranberry juice, like if you drink cranberries, like if you raw cranberry juice will kill you or it's really bad for you. But that's why they mix it with grape juice, right? To make it palatable. And then it's really good for your urinary tract for some reason.
Yeah.
All the toxin.
It cleans. Yeah.
I'm
You,
just
you
trying
will
to-
go
I'm
to the
just-
bathroom shortly after.
I have
I'm
a
trying to get
couple.
some tart cherries to grow within the next couple of years. We'll see if they survive the summer.
I got a
Could someone
couple.
please give Hungar the goddamn link so he can come join us at this point?
Yeah.
Because we're not talking about movies anymore. We're just talking shit now.
Yeah,
I got it.
exactly.
It's just become a chill stream.
Did,
Yeah, I can do this.
I've already got it, man.
Okay. Now since I homebrew, I got a couple buddies like, hey, can you make cranberry mead? And I'm like,
Oh, fucking dudes.
good. I don't think you would enjoy it. He's like, you don't know that. I'm like,
I thought cranberries, you have to add a lot of sugar to it. Otherwise, they're just so.
it would be like
They're tart.
they're tart. I would have to add
Yeah.
cider to it and still probably about 3 or 4 pounds of sugar.
I just want to say something. Hungar, you've literally been on streams from a hospital bed. You telling me you can't just put your phone down while you're cooking and talk into it? Please. Fuck, I'm hungry. I ate right before we started the stream, and then just talking about all this food, I'm like,
I'm glad I had that piece of lasagna, man.
I'm kind of tempted to throw on I'm trying to figure out if I want to throw on some pork ribs, or if I want. Sorry, not pork ribs. Pork loin, or if I want to do throw on a steak. So.
About
Pork
Seven.
ribs are good. I
about
like
7
pork ribs.
about 7:00 this time, my time, I will be. So I could do this for probably another about 20 minutes or 30 minutes, hanging out with you guys. But my aunt is in town from where she's at, and because this past Thursday for It was my last visit to the doctor for what was going on. It's like, yay, let's celebrate. And I'm like, I just want to stay home and sleep.
It's Santa on his day on his months off. It's cool, Hungar. It's glad to see you. What are you cooking up there? Oh, okay. Beef bone broth.
Yeah. What do you mean, Santa on his months off? These are the times of the year where he has to whip the little people into making cheap shit in China or some shit.
It's because it's fun.
The labor board stepped in. He's not allowed to whip him anymore.
Yeah, the North Pole outsourced to Asia anyway. They laid off all the elves.
He's
Back
having
in
them
the
dig,
80s.
no. He's having them
Trade.
dig to the center of the earth so they can go to the hollow earth for when the when we all try blowing ourselves up. So he's gonna I will survive and we will repopulate with only elves.
Hungar's going to repopulate the earth
with elves.
That is going to be one fucked up Planet of the Apes.
I
Yeah.
was going to
It's going to
say,
be Christmas songs 24 hours a day.
So the big, serious philosophical question: what flavor of Pop-Tart do you think the flat Earth is?
I'm hoping it's
more.
cinnamon itself. But
yeah,
I don't miss Pop Tarts. I'll tell you.
neither do I.
One
No,
of the
they're
things of
nasty.
being diabetic with all the choices I've had to make over the last 13 years, 14, 15 years now, being diabetic, is there's certain things I just don't eat anymore. Right? They just stop being in my diet. Pop Tarts being one of them. I don't miss them. I don't crave them. I don't desire them. I don't care for them.
and they got
I'm not
worse over the
diabetic.
years, too.
I feel
That's,
the same way
it always helps when the food quality goes down, and I don't miss those anymore.
We have,
Yeah.
we have a store here called Giant Tiger. You have them in Ontario,
Yeah.
and they're like a dollar store type thing, but they're not, but they're cheap. But they have a food section, right? Like you guys in the States, they're one of the few Canadian cheap stores that have a food section as well. Some of their frozen stuff, pretty good. Like their meatballs, I buy a couple of boxes of their Angus meatballs and I throw them in a stew in the slow cooker and stuff like that, and they're really fucking good. Like I'm shocked at how good they are, and they're not too expensive. You know.
They have a good cheese section here too.
Do they have an Italian sausage? Like it's always sold out lately when I've been going, but you can get like
Yeah, I know.
4 Italian sausages for like $4.50, and they're good. They're pork.
That's cheap in Canada for those of you down south.
We have a store called Aldi's, and that's where that's where you buy cheap groceries. And their frozen chicken patties are just like freaking Chick-fil-A.
Really?
And I'm like, oh, this is great. And I'm like, yeah, it is, motherfuckers. Quit buying them out.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem with my neighborhood. The Giant Tiger. I live in the neighborhood I live in is a very new Canadian neighborhood, right? It's like the second tier neighborhood. I used to live in the first tier neighborhood, which was the first arrival neighborhood, most multicultural neighborhood in the world, by the way. And then now I'm in Saint Laurent, Cartierville, which is when they get enough money to buy a house, this is the neighborhood they move into, right? But it's still like going shopping in Vancouver because there's a ton of Chinese people here. So every time something comes up that's good at the cheap store, forget it. You're not getting it because they've already come through in like a swarm and bought up everyone they could. You know what I mean? So
Right.
the cream goes on sale. Fuck it. You're not getting any cream. You know, chicken goes on sale. You're not getting any fucking chicken. Fuck you. You're not getting it. It's just not happening. You know?
You gotta
It's
find.
insane.
You gotta talk to the people that work there and find out when the shipments are coming in and
Oh,
just
dude,
be
I
there
saw-
for opening.
I saw the future Mrs. Bear at the Super C grocery store on Friday with my buddy.
Yeah.
Tall, Eastern European for sure, maybe Ukrainian, Russian, in her 40s, still thin, still looking good, dyeing her hair black, obviously to cover for the gray, but sharp features. I'm like just sitting there waiting for my buddy to finish his shopping, and I'm just like, don't stare. Don't stare. But I wanted to stare because it's like I would marry her so she could divorce me and take all my shit. Absolutely. Absolutely. I have the cat. That's, you know.
There.
I don't know.
Would be
See,
fair
Bear and
to
I
the-
have similar
yeah.
taste in women in this case, so I understand.
Oh, I
Yeah.
am weak for thin, sharp featured women.
Well,
Mhm.
I am too, especially if they can cook.
Oh, especially
I can cook. I don't give a fuck if they can cook.
No,
Clean.
I mean, I can cook, but
If they, as long as they're clean, I'll cook. You clean. That's
okay, definitely that.
that was the deal I had with my ex with Deepinder. Was like basically, okay, I'll cook you clean because she couldn't cook to save her life. Indian girl couldn't cook to save her life because her never bothered to learn from her mother. So I'd cook. She'd do the dishes. She'd come over. First thing she'd do when she got to my place, she'd go, "It's too dusty." And she'd grab the broom and start sweeping the apartment. And I'm like, "Oh, you don't have to do that, baby. Thank you so much. Let me make your favorite meal as a treat."
Sure.
you know.
Well, that's the. But no, I dated a Romanian woman, just like you said. She was 6 foot tall, thin, and everything else. And but she was but it was. But one time, like, I don't like preserves and jams and stuff. And she did it with. I bought her like 20 pounds of cherries, and she turned that into some preserves. And man, that was. And then she made some crepes. And man, that was good. She put the little bit of it on there, and it was like, holy hell!
Romanian women are fantastic, but they are she wolves. And the minute you show weakness, they will turn on I've dated two. They will turn on a dime. And all my Romanian friends are like, "Yep." And the reason why is because Romanian men. And if you've ever hung out with Romanian men, you understand exactly why the women are like this. Because if left to their own devices, Romanian men will just drink, gamble, and fight everything into the gutter. They will not care, So the Romanians are constantly trying to keep the family together, keep the house together, and so they get tired. So the minute you show weakness as a man, they're just like, and it just.
Well, I saw, I thought what was this? I've heard some things, and I don't know if it's actually true. It's like, what's a good man? One that has a job and doesn't beat you. I'm like, that's a pretty low bar.
Yeah, that's the Eastern European bar right there. That's the Balkan winner. In Colombia, from what my Colombianas tell me, what's a good man? One who doesn't fuck you and then go work on his car with his friends immediately afterwards. That's a good man. One who sticks around.
Wow. What is best in life? Fucking your Colombian girlfriend, working on the car with the boys.
So I was getting, when I was on the international dating site, all these fucking Colombian girls would come on and they'd see me and they'd go, Omar, right? Because that's how they say Homer on The Simpsons. And I'm like, you're fucking calling me Homer Simpson? What the fuck is wrong with you? And then one girl's like, no, you need to understand. For you guys, Homer Simpson's this failure of a human being, right? Yeah. For us, he's a man who works a shitty job and does whatever it takes to make sure his family has a roof over their head, his kids are taken care of, and he loves his wife. That's an amazing man to us. And I'm like, wow, that is a huge difference in the bar. You know what I mean?
Hold that thought. I'll be right over.
Hold that thought. I'm on my way to Colombia. Then I will teach you what my Colombiana friend taught me, which is when I come to visit her in Colombia, she said, no matter what anybody says to you, you answer this. No lo sé, soy turista, por favor no robes mis órganos, which means, I don't know, I'm a tourist, please don't steal my organs.
Oh.
But I'm like, really? I say that to everybody.
too.
Everybody. So if we go to Starbucks and they ask my name, I say, no lo sé, soy turista, por favor no robes mis órganos. She's like, sí. And I'm like, and then they're just going to write on the cup, Pinche gringo. Fucking whitey,
I too am a tourist, and I am going to steal your organs.
Maybe like, look at this tourist. Let's steal his organs.
Oh, fuck yeah. Dude, have you read about that stuff they do with that drug that they give the men that turns them into zombies? And then they take them and they get them to go empty their bank accounts and shit like that. And then they just leave them on the street for dead. It's like a huge thing going on in Colombia right now. It's fucked up.
All right, I might not be going to Colombia.
I need to go to Panama with my friend because he has a bunch of family that's.
Well, Panamanian women are, Panamanian, Colombian, and Venezuelan all used to be one country, right? Gran Colombia.
Yeah.
And they're women, all three. Like the women are just like, you know what I mean? Super Catholic.
Yeah.
Super Catholic. But as a result of being super Catholic, like anywhere else in the world that's super Catholic, they fuck. You know what I mean? Like sex is a second language for them.
Okay, I might be going back to my I'll be back in the list. Yes!
Well, I just have to. Well, I might wait a few years before I take my son with me because I like to take one if I go overseas. So.
Well, it's like Ireland there, Connell. You know, there's a reason why there's an outbreak of teen pregnancy in that country.
It's not best to fucking do.
Oh.
Yeah, I gotta bounce out, guys. But we're gonna do Tron for next week. Then that's the
What
plan.
movie you
Yes,
guys
we
doing next
are.
week?
We're doing
Tron.
I'll get that
The original 1983 one. So there's no
Yeah, Dennis
confusion. I didn't think there
Quaid.
was, but
No,
Bruce
I know.
Boxleitner.
Saw it in
Yeah.
the theater.
It's the one with
Master
Commander-
Control.
MCP.
Not Peter David. David. What's the bad guy's name? Fuck.
I know who you're referring to. Yeah.
Oh my god, he was in like every fucking Star Trek ever.
Yeah. I can't
What is that actor's
no.
name? I can't believe I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
I gotta
it's
look it
the
up.
best of us. So, should we count you in
David
next
Warner.
Bear?
What?
Did we catch you? Should I send you a link next Sunday? Not next
No,
Sunday.
I'll give Tron a miss. Thanks.
You know,
By the way, next Sunday it's going to be a no go for me. I got a family thing I got to do. But the week after that, I will definitely be doing Tron.
What's
Okay,
after
so
Tron?
2 weeks from
In 2 weeks we're doing Tron. Then it's going to be
Okay.
Planet of the Apes if Shadow is able to depart from whatever his busy schedule is.
I think
Well,
Jack
you
is
know,
making
shooting
him go
porn takes
to,
time, especially when it's gay.
Yeah.
Jeez.
We'll go with that answer.
All right,
I
later,
was gonna
guys.
say Jackie was
All right,
making
bye,
him go.
Mark.
Good night,
Nice
Mark.
meeting you.
Bye bye.
Bye, Mark.
Party on, Mark.
Sorry for the inconvenience of next Sunday, but yeah, I got a family thing I just can't get out of.
Oh, it's,
That's okay, man.
see, that's one of the reasons I put up a big long list of sci-fi. 'Cause I'm like, there's so many great sci-fi movies out there. It's like, well, let's pick some.
Man, I got a DM right now that's doing the Madman Under the Mountain, and he's trying to mix that up. It was the Golden Heist, and he's trying to do part A be that one, and part B we go into Space Jam, not Space, the D&D and Space game. I can't fucking think what it's called off the top of my head.
Talking about Star.
Spelljammer.
Spelljammer.
Oh, okay.
And we got invaded. The town was having a festival of fools, and these clowns from nowhere show up, and I'm like, all right,
Oh,
these
it's a
are
5e version because you have the killer clowns from space.
yeah. So we're doing this, and I'm like, punch him in the nose, punch him in the nose.
No,
Yeah.
what you do is you say, I'm afraid he's going to charge, and the other guy goes, no, clowns don't charge. They scurry. They scamper.
They're coming right for us.
Apparently,
Oh, that's
clowns
right.
do charge. Did you ever see the Tick with Proto Clown?
Gotcha. But it's that time. I hope that everybody had a good day today. I'm happy to see Hungar not, in the back position, but in the ho-ho, wearing his own brand shirt, cooking his ass off like the chef that he is. Bear, you're always a pleasure to have on.
Hey, I found out I lost weight today. I'm happy.
Right.
I gotta get myself some of them Iranian Olympic clubs like Omanal's doing so I can be like the Sheik. I will put you in chemical clutch you never get out of and fuck you in your ass.
Hell, man, you do a lot more than I have. These are only 15 pounds, so, you'll do a lot better than I would.
Justin Omanal, it's always a pleasure. Bear, I'll send you the email.
Yeah, sign up, guys. Like Hungar, same for you as well. If you want, sign up for Plex at Plex TV, Plex.tv. And then once you sign up, send me a Discord message with the email that you used to sign up. I'll add you to my library. Right now, I'm only doing a monthly subscription, like $6 every month to have it active for everybody. If I decide it's working out and people want it, we'll pull some caches and we'll pull the trigger on the $159 Canadian lifetime membership, and then that way you can have access forever.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Oh, speaking of sci-fi,
Cool.
my
Making
daughter.
ramen, are you? Is that ramen?
Yeah,
Is ramen with kimchi, tofu, spam, oyster sauce, soy sauce, fish sauce, and cheese with 2 poached eggs.
Jesus.
son of a bitch.
I don't walk
Oh.
around with the ramen.
Speaking
You
of
guys want
sci-fi
to listen?
shows,
Do you guys want us to keep talking? Because if you want, I can fire up a live stream over on my channel and we can all hang out if you like.
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. Everybody out there, y'all have a good one. Bear, I want to say something really quick about in stream before I do.